All right, so the paperwork I have is actually on Jose Raul Manhares. Are all parties ready?
Defense is ready, Judge.
State's ready.
Thank you so much. So the interpretation works? Okay, well, let me make sure I turn it on my end. Okay, awesome. Yes, I can. Brenda, I keep adding you, so I need to not add you first. Oh, well, it's going to be difficult, but here we go. Sorry, Brenna.
Okay.
All right, the court is going to call 2019 CR 11691, State of Texas versus Jose Raul Manhares. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Tom Nisbet.
Orlando Castañon for defense.
All right, and for the state?
Tom Nisbet.
Oh, Tom, you're not on the correct channel.
I can hear him.
I cannot hear him.
Can you hear me, Judge, now?
All right, Tom, could you say something now, please?
Tom Nisbet for the state.
All right, I can hear you now. And for the defense?
Orlando Castañon for defense.
All right, we have an interpreter here because my understanding is Mr. Manhares speaks Spanish. Could I have the interpreter, if you could raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and from Spanish into English, so help you God? Mr. Castellon, all of the documents that I'm going to be reviewing with your client are in English. Were you able to review those documents with your client in Spanish?
I did not review them in Spanish. We went over them in English. I did not believe that there was an issue in interpretation, but he may have not understood all the words that I'm just not aware of.
Mr. Manhares, were you able to understand all of these documents?
Sí.
Are you able to understand English?
Sí, pero no al 100%, como un 50%, 60%.
All right, were you able to understand the rights and waivers that are in the documents today?
Sí.
Would you like to have those documents explained to you in the Spanish language?
No creo que sea necesario.
Well, I mean, people have thoughts. Do you want to have that explained to you in Spanish?
No.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Judge.
Mr. Manhares, did you review a document with your attorney entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Sí.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Did you review a document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Sí.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Manhares, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Sí.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes.
Mr. Manhares, did you review a document with your attorney entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it electronically in all the appropriate places?
Sí.
Did you understand you're charged with evading arrest or detention with a vehicle? That is a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Sí.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Sí.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Sí.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Sí.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
No, sí, ya está todo hecho.
No, here's my question. Did you understand by entering into a plea bargain agreement, you were giving up your right to a jury trial?
Entiendo eso.
Did you intend to give up that right and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Sí.
Did you understand you have a right to remain silent?
Sí.
Did you understand by entering into this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up that right?
Sí.
And did you intend to give up that right and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
No. Para. No.
Did you understand? Let me repeat. Did you understand you have a right to remain silent?
Yo entiendo que tengo el derecho de permanecer callado. Sí.
Did you understand that you're giving up that right by entering into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Renuncio a. Ok, que se entiendo que renuncio a este convenio. Ok, entiendo.
And did you intend to do that?
Yes.
All right, shouldn't that be C?
Sí.
That's the extent of my Spanish, Orlando. That and adios. All right, Mr. Manhares, did you understand that you have a right, or your attorney has the right, to cross-examine any witnesses that the state would call in this case?
Sí, entiendo.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up that right?
Sí, entiendo que renuncié a permanecer callado.
We're talking about your attorney or you questioning witnesses. Mr. Manhares, take a deep breath.
Sí, sí,
All right, this is what I want you to do. Take a deep breath. I just want you to listen to the questions that I'm asking you. Don't go down the street until we get to the destination. So, do you understand that your attorney can question any witnesses that the state would bring for this case?
sí,
Did you understand that because you're entering into a plea bargain agreement, your attorney is not going to have a chance to cross-examine any witnesses?
ok.
Is that d'accord? How do you say that okay in Spanish? I don't think it's okay.
Sí, decimos ok en español.
Oh, okay, in French is d'accord, but all right. So, Mr. Manhares, you understand, well, did you intend to give up the right for your attorney to question any witnesses the state would call?
No,
Do you want to go forward with this plea?
sí,
And when you go forward this plea, you understand that your attorney is not going to get a chance to question any witnesses. Do you understand that?
sí lo entiendo.
Counsel,
Yes, Judge.
has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has. And we
You
also
believe-
discussed that there was a police report that would be used to substantiate his guilt. And I believe he understood that.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Judge.
Mr. Manhares, do you understand if the court grants your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did I miss the answer? Mr. Manhares, if you are placed on deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication is revoked, and the reason being that your deferred adjudication may be revoked because maybe you didn't do something you were supposed to do, maybe you picked up a new offense, but if it were revoked, do you understand that the court could sentence you up to 10 years in prison?
Sí, entiendo.
Has anyone threatened you or coerced you to get you to enter this plea?
No,
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
no,
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
sí, muy contento.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Sí,
And with regards to his U.S. Citizenship, Mr. Castellon, it's the court's memory that an immigration attorney was appointed in this case for that issue.
Yes, Judge, there was some issues in regards to whether or not he was a U.S. citizen. He has, since that time, filed paperwork, and he has received his passport and turned in his legal residence card, is my understanding from my client. He's indicated to me that he is a U.S. citizen, I have admonished him that if he is not, that this case on his record could have immigration consequences such as deportation, exclusion, or denial of his right for naturalization. He understood that and has affirmed that he is a U.S. citizen. I personally have not been able to verify that. That is what he has indicated to me.
Mr. Manhares, did you obtain your U.S. Passport?
Sí,
Are you a U.S. citizen?
sí,
And did you have a chance to speak with your immigration attorney for this issue, Teresa Coles-Davila? Teresa, did you have a chance to speak with your immigration attorney, Teresa Coles-Davila?
no, no personalmente no.
Mr. Castellano?
I'm not sure as to whether he spoke with her or not. I understood they have had conversations.
Mi
Ms.
hermano, sí.
Ferguson, can you see if Ms. Coles-Davila can zoom in here, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Just give us 1 moment, Mr. Castellano. We're off the record. James Deleon?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, have you spoken to Teresa Coles-Davila as it relates to your client who is Mr. Manhares' brother?
Yes, so they did consult with her. She was the amount that she wanted to charge to do the work.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about the fee. I'm just asking if they are citizens, if they talk to her. None of this is on the record at the moment. I'm just trying to figure out if she gave them advice.
She did, and but what they ended up doing was they ended up filing the paperwork themselves with the State Department, and they received their passports just recently.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All righty. And I'm sure Miss Teresa Coles-Davila told them they could do it that way. All right, we're going to go back on the record. All right, according to the plea bargaining agreement, well, just 1 moment. Mr. Manhares, just so the record can be clear, when did you receive your U.S. passport? Approximately.
2 weeks ago, 2 semanas atrás.
Okay, now I do know that there's a Spanish word for 2 weeks ago, and it's not the English phrase 2 weeks ago. I do know how to say two in Spanish. So, Mr. Manhares, you're either going to use the interpreter or not use the interpreter.
Sí.
Okay. So the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. According to the plea bargaining agreement, state is requesting a $1,500 fine, recommending deferred adjudication, taking in consideration 2020 CR 1884. Did you understand that to be the plea bargaining agreement, Mr. Castellano?
Yes, Judge.
Defense, is that the plea bargaining agreement? I'm sorry, Mr. Manhares, is that the plea bargaining agreement?
Sí.
State, is that the plea bargaining agreement?
Yes.
Next, the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Sí.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Sí.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your probationary period be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 80 hours community service restitution, and proof of employment. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Sí.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No me opongo.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
We offer exhibit 1.
No
Any
objections,
objection?
Judge. No, Judge.
Mr. Manhares, did you review a document with your attorney entitled Waiver, Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Sí.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial? A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine or confront any witness that the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Sí.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Sí.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, we just ask that you follow the plea agreement.
All right, Mr. Manhares, are you employed?
Sí.
What do you do?
Soy mecánico.
Do you have any children?
Sí.
What are their ages?
Tiene 5 años. Tengo uno.
And what is her age?
Es un niño y tiene 5 años de edad.
Okay. So do you want your son riding on a motorcycle at high rates of speed?
Nunca.
So here's the thing. I'm reading this report. You could have ended up being killed or caused someone else to have an accident and be killed if you're racing on a motorcycle at 80 miles per hour. You understand?
Entiendo.
Racing on a motorcycle is definitely you being an organ donor. You understand?
Okay.
So this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to a $1,500 fine. That will be probated. 5 years deferred adjudication. Taking consideration 2020 CR 1884. 80 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof that you've completed the COVID vaccination. That includes the booster shot. Court is not forcing anyone to get the booster shot or forcing anyone to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 hours of your community service restitution will be waived. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular Zoom reporting. Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. No problem. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Regular Zoom reporting or in person. So if you can't report by Zoom, you will have to report in person. Regular UAs, or you can do the patch. Your attorney can explain to you the difference. Random field visits. One time per month. Rebecca, is there anything else that Mr. Manhares needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Manhares, is there anything else that you need from the court to be successful?
Pues quería preguntar sobre mi monitor.
Is there an issue with the monitor, Mr. Castillon, Mr. Nesbitt?
Well, just that he's been wearing it for the past 2 years. And I believe he'd asked that it be removed during the duration of his probation.
State?
Well, I mean, it's not a condition of his probation, right? So,
You have no objections to it being removed?
no.
All right, and then Rebecca I'll order that the monitor, the GPS monitor is removed. But that doesn't mean that you're to go wild since your monitor has been removed, Mr. Manhares. Sometimes people behave differently when they have the monitor on. So remember, you have a young child that is depending on you. And if something happens to you, you don't know what's going to happen to your child if you're not there. All right, with that, we're going to close the record. I'm going to send you to a breakout room with probation. And if the interpreter could go to the breakout room with the probation, and Rebecca, if you'll go to that room as well to go over conditions. And I will send you all to breakout room number 1. Oh, no, just give me one moment. James, does his brother need an interpreter?
No, Your Honor, Andre speaks perfect English.
All right, no, then after that, you're excused. Thank you, thanks for coming in. All right, thank you. Bye-bye. James, is your paperwork done?
I've signed everything, and apparently there's some technical issues that it's not reaching Andre. I gave an alternate email address that they could try to send it to. He just texted me, still no paperwork.
All right, just give us a moment. We'll see what's going on. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Okay.
And to the clerks, if you can go to number 2 and see what's happening with the paperwork, please.
Yes, Judge. And Judge, can I get a breakout with Mr. Montes in custody so I can sign his paperwork?
Yes. I'll send you to number 3. Mr. Montes, if you go to breakout room number 3, please. All right. Daniel Vela.
Judge, this is on the Michael Avery matter.
Yes. What is happening with his case?
Absolutely nothing. I haven't conferred at all today. I've gone to breakout.
Here's the thing. We're going to make that happen right now. Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It's criminal trial division, Your Honor.
All right. Is there a criminal trial prosecutor available to confer with Mr. Vela and Michael Avery? I'm going to send him to breakout room number 4. And let me see what your client is charged with. Just one moment.
It's an aggravated assault.
Yes, it's an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And so if you would go there, an attorney will meet you in that breakout room.
hope so, Your Honor. I've been.
Oh, no,
waiting.
it will happen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Put some patience in your pocket. Actually, there's a prosecutor waiting for you right now.
What? Okay. I'm
Yeah,
on it, Your Honor. I'm
you're
on it.
late. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. To the clerks, do you have the paperwork on Sam Amaya?
We're getting it together, Judge.
All right, thank you. Do you need him in a breakout room?
Yes, Judge, if you can put him in a breakout room.
I'm going to send you vote to number 5.
And I think I still need the consent to proceed by video in the trial court certification.
Okay. And where is your client?
He signed on, or I just spoke to him just before
All
2
right,
o'clock.
Mr. Amaya, go to breakout room number 5. And Tom, can I see you in number 6? And Frank Sandoval, can I see you in 6? the courtroom, Blanca Hernandez is going to come back on December 13th, so we'll get a reset form for her. And after she signs that reset form, she's excused.
And Your Honor, this is Frankie Sandoval one more time.
Yeah.
May I contact Joe Ray Garcia and for that, so we can start the process of that?
Yes.
I can contact either him or Mr. Nesbitt, or both.
Let me do this. If you go back to number 6, Mr. Joe Ray Garcia will meet you in 6.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And everyone, just give me a moment to sign paperwork, please.
Can you please the court?
Just one moment, please. I know it appears I'm doing nothing, but I'm signing documents at the moment. Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, on that Avery matter, he is present there in court. We did confer. It was not something that we can resolve today with the offer that was made.
And I'm assuming you're still saying on the bond?
Can we just hold that in abeyance for now, Your Honor? Yes, right now. I got some information on him today that I just got right now. So hold that in abeyance if you can.
All right. So are you withdrawing it at this time?
I'll withdraw it right now, Your Honor.
All right, so where are we, is this the first time he's received an offer?
To my knowledge, yes, Your Honor.
Have you received all the discovery?
Yes, Your Honor. Everything that I'm aware of.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to recall this in 30 days. I'm going to give you a plea deadline date, Mr. Avery. And your plea deadline date will be January 11th. And then on that January 11th date, if you decide not to accept the plea, then the court will give you a jury trial date. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, make sure you stay in contact with your attorney and stay in contact when you're to appear in court, okay?
I will.
All right, and on January 11th, you can appear by Zoom or in person. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, don't leave the courtroom until we give you a reset form. I need a reset form from Mr. Avery for January 11th. Yes. All right, Mr. Velo, you're excused.
Thank you.
All right, and are we ready on Juan Montes?
I think so, Judge.
Does he only have a motion to revoke?
He has another case, Judge, but they're going to TIC it.
Okay.
And just so you're aware, Matthew Finch, I think is his lawyer in that other case, but since they're dismissing it, I didn't think I needed to call him.
No, you do not. Thank you. And the motion that you filed, I'm assuming you're withdrawing that motion?
Yes, Your Honor. Since we're able to work it out, I'm going to go ahead and finish it. What did Caesar say?
His phone's not back on yet. It's still dead. That's why he
Okay.
should away.
Is there a prosecutor available for Juan Montes?
I can step in. What is the, it's an MTR?
Yes.
Yes, he's going to plead true to number 5, and he's going to get the underlying sentence.
Okay, great. Let's do it.
All right, the court is calling 2018 CR 11464, State of Texas versus Juan Francisco Montes. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Caitlin Wilkes for the state.
for the defense?
Raymond Martinez.
And are you Mr. Montes?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Montes, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same? Okay, I'm sorry. The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled motion to revoke community supervision. State's motion to supplement pending motion to revoke probation. State's second motion to supplement pending motion to revoke probation. State's third motion to supplement pending motion to revoke probation. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Are you the same Juan Francisco Montes, was placed on community supervision in 2018 CR 11464 for the offense of tampering or to fabricate physical evidence with intent to compare on August 24th, 2020 for a term of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am. That was for tampering with evidence, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, I was.
All right, state.
Excuse me, Judge. The state will proceed on the state's motion to supplement the pending motion to revoke probation. So the first pending one, and we'll do violation of condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Juan Francisco Montes, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of December 2020, January, February, March, April 2021 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State,
The state would move to waive the remaining allegations, Your Honor.
any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, I did.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge. We are asking the court to grant the motion and sentence him to the 3 years that was originally offered in this case.
Defense? Is that
That
the
is the
agreement?
agreement. It is, Judge.
Mr. Montes, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
No, I know, that's why I downloaded it.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Hired by now.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, I believe he was already granted, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page, already given probation, conviction probation prior to this on August 6th of 2020.
All right, I don't see any notation of that in the court's
I mean,
file.
that may be mistaken. I'm reading the
Just one
court
second.
summary.
All right, let me see.
I just
And
want to make
what date would that have been?
8/6/20. Maybe Your Honor denied the motion at that time, but I just see the note.
That's my understanding as well, Judge.
Okay, let me just look real quick. Just give me 1 second. All right, you are correct. All right, then the court will follow your agreement. The court will grant the motion, sentence you to 3 years in prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with George Morales, Margarito Cortinas.
Ma'am, is that a possibility? Because that is my stepson.
Oh, you'll have to take that up with your parole. Or 113 Laza, Laza Street. All right, next I'm going to show you what's entitled what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
And before we do that, State, is there a case that's being taken in consideration?
I can look that up right now, Your Honor.
It's an unindicted evading with a vehicle.
All right, and what is the number that you have, Mr. Martinez?
Like I said, Judge, I'm not the lawyer on that case, so I don't have anything on that file.
Okay.
That was Mr. Zimmerman's case.
I'm gonna look it up right now, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Always takes its sweet time when we need it most. Okay.
Oh, hey, that's
Yeah.
okay.
9. Okay. I see a night mag case. Number will be 639507.
All right, and the court will take in consideration night mag number 639-507. All right, Mr. Montes, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right, with that, we'll go off the record. Mr. Montes, good luck to you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, take care of yourself and do better, okay?
I will, ma'am. Is there any possibility I can call on here so I can get my commissary? Because I did miss commissary today this morning.
I'm sorry, what commissary are you talking about?
Well, I gotta make store here. Get my commissary, my stuff's up in here.
I can't understand what he's saying, Mr. Martinez. Do you know what commissary he's speaking of?
Following either, Judge. I'm not sure if he missed something he's trying to get back to. I don't know. One more time. Mr.
I was trying to see if I can get, yeah, I can cut on here because I didn't make store today. That's why I didn't go to the store and get my noodles and stuff that I need here.
He needs to go to the commissary.
Okay, did he say that he
He
missed
was
the
wanting, he
time
was wanting
frame?
somebody from the court to notify the jail that if they could give him permission to go do something since he missed the time.
Yeah, his noodles was the word.
Okay, all right, so what we will do is, I will see if the clerks can let the jail know that he was in court, so he would like to obtain his commissary.
That's what it was, Judge, yes.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Judge, I'm ready, Mr. George, when you are.
All right, thank you. 17K can go back. And to the clerks,
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
can you make sure
Welcome.
that Mr. Montes receives, or that the jail knows that he didn't have a chance to receive his commissary?
Yes, Judge, I'll call them right now.
Thank you so much, Robert. I appreciate that.
Uh-huh.
All right, and then on Caesar George.
Judge, what I wanted to tell the court was that Mr. George received a new offer from the state today, and we've reviewed it. He would just like to have some time to think about it. It's a big decision. And so if we could have a setting in the future, he will give them a yes or a no on that offer that they've made.
Okay, what we'll do is we'll recall it back on December 14th. And we'll see where we are.
Okay, and then I guess we can take up the issue about his request to go to Christmas dinner at that time.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Judge, do you mind if I put it down for the afternoon, because I have like 10 or 12 people already in the morning, I think.
Ms. Ferguson, they want to bring Mr. George back on December 14th. That's the time that I chose, at 2 o'clock, to determine whether or not he's going to accept this plea, and also to hear a motion.
Yes, Judge, that's fine. We'll make it work.
Well, recall for the plea, Judge, but we will agree to the motion. We received it in writing from defense. He's not leaving town, frankly. We know that the court has it. It's a specific location in a time window on Christmas Day. We have no objection to allowing him to do that.
Okay. All right. So clerks, if I could get the motion on Caesar George. Let me see if I have it. Just one second. Norma, if you could see if they can get me the motion on Caesar George for request for travel. And then Mr. Martinez, the court will sign that.
Mr. Martinez, when did you file that motion?
You know what, I might have sent it to Tom before it actually got e-filed, so I'll follow up, Judge.
All right.
Here, I'll send it to everybody right now. I'm looking at it in my email right now.
Robert said he has it, Tom.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. You and your client are excused.
And Judge, I'm sorry to interrupt. You said you still want that motion, you still want it for 2 o'clock?
He's saying that 2 o'clock is best for him because he has a lot of cases in the morning. All right. Thank you. We'll see you at 2.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. George, you're excused. Oh, no problem. I just got new staples. Well, I wouldn't say new, but more staples. There you go. You're welcome. And then let me see who else we have remaining. Anthony Cantrell, what is happening with your client?
Judge, I'm waiting for the stipulations from the state. I've already signed the appeal notice and the other, but I'm just waiting for stips from state.
Okay. And Norma, do you know what is happening with Mike Sarya's case?
I don't, Judge. Let me contact him right now.
Thank you.
He'll be logging in, Judge.
Thank you. Yes, and I need to file on RC Curtis. Mhm. All right, James Milan, are you ready on Mr. Andre Manhares?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who's the prosecutor for the state?
Tom Nisbet, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 4188 and 2020 CR 11343, State of Texas versus Andre Manhares. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Tom Nisbet.
for the defense?
James Milan.
And are you Mr. Manhares?
Yes, I am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
None.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Manhares, in each of these cause numbers, did you review a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video? And did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then in each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. And each of the cause numbers, did you file what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision? Did you review those documents with your attorney and did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Counsel, in each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled the Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in each of these cause numbers? And did you review that discovery with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
And each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Manhares, in each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review those documents with your attorney and did you understand them?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Counsel, in each of the cause numbers, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Stating cause number 2020 CR 4188, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in cause number 2020 CR 11343, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
On that one, Judge, being.
I'm asking the state.
Yeah,
No problem.
number of modifications, Your Honor. We're waiving count 1. We're waiving the deadly weapon allegation. And we're proceeding under the lesser included possession of count 2 of a quantity 200 to 400 grams, which is a stock first degree punishment range.
All right, is any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
And each of the cause numbers, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign them in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
In cause number 2020 CR 4188, you're charged with robbery. That's a second degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years with a possible fine up to $10,000. And cause number 2020 CR 11343, you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 200 grams to 400 grams. That's a first-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand the charges in each of these cause numbers in the range of punishment?
I understand, Your Honor.
And each of the cause numbers, if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
I understand, Your Honor.
And each of the cause numbers, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in, the right to remain silent?
I understand, Your Honor.
And each of the cause numbers, did you understand by entering these plea bargain agreements, you were giving up those rights?
I understand, Your Honor.
And each of those cause numbers that you intend to give up your rights and enter into plea bargain agreements?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And cause number 2020 CR 4188, did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
I understand, Your Honor.
And cause number 2020 CR 11343, did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to life in prison? Did you understand?
I understand, Your Honor.
Counsel, in each of the cause numbers, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor, and I provided a lot of documentation to the state in this case, and we're probably going to need a pretty lengthy on this at sentencing.
And each of the cause numbers, do you believe your client has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
And each of the cause numbers, do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Manhares, in each of the cause numbers, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
And each of the cause numbers, has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
And each of the cause numbers, are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, I am.
And each of the cause numbers, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
All right, defense, it is the court's memory or recollection that the defendant was giving a immigration attorney, Teresa Close Davila, because there were immigration issues. Have those immigration issues been answered or solved?
Have, Your Honor. Mr. Manhares did a filing with the State Department, and he received his passport a couple of weeks ago. And so he is a U.S. citizen.
All right, and Mr. Manhares, have you received your U.S. passport?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
All right. Then in each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. In each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I didn't, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement in each of the cause numbers, punishment is to be assessed at 8 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. The state is remaining silent on his application for deferred adjudication or in community supervision. The cases will run concurrent with each other. There's an other box checked in 2020 CR 4188, but there's nothing in the other box.
I think I went to put the no contact there initially, if I'm remembering, and then I put it below the line after all. So there would be an errant check mark. I would consider surplusage in the other box at this point.
All right. And also in 2020 CR 11343, of course, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of possession of controlled substance, penalty group 1, 200 grams to 400 grams. And the state is waiving count 1 and the deadly weapon paragraph. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreements and each of the cause numbers, Mr. Manhares?
Yes, I understand.
And did you also understand there is to be restitution to Kimberly Hernandez, if any?
I understand, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement in each of the cause numbers?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement in each of the cause numbers?
Yes.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
I understand, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement in cause number 2020 CR 4188, there's to be no contact with Kimberly Hernandez. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation?
I understand, Your Honor.
Then in cause number 2020 CR 4188, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
And in cause number 2020 CR 11343 to the lesser included offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 200 grams to 400 grams. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea in either of these cause numbers.
We offer exhibit 1 and attachments.
Any objections?
No objection.
Mr. Manhares, I'm going to show you in each of these cause numbers what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign them in both places?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Again, in each of the cause numbers, you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and a right to remain silent. Did you understand?
I understand, Your Honor.
Did you understand that in each of the cause numbers, the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
I understand, Your Honor.
Then in each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments in each of the cause numbers, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication in each of these cause numbers. All right, Norma, I'll need a sentencing date for Mr. Manhares.
Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second.
All right, we're gonna come back on February 3rd. That's the earliest, Norma?
Yes, ma'am, that's what probation is requesting.
All right, we will be back on February 3rd at 9 a.m. And Mr. Manhares, you'll need to appear in the 187 District Court at 9 a.m. on February 3rd. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
All right, is there a TAP evaluation needed, Mr. Milan?
I don't believe so, Judge, but I mean, if the state wants it, I mean, I'm not necessarily against it. But I don't think it's necessary.
All right, Mr. Manhares, if you drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Positive for marijuana.
All right, we'll do a TAP evaluation.
That's all I have, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, just give me one moment. All right, Mr. Manhares, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with probation. Probation will go over conditions with you as far as telling you where you need to be and where you need to report, okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 1. Mr. Milan, you can go to 1 or either you can be excused.
I'll go into 1, just make sure everything goes.
Thank you. Who is the prosecutor on Sam Amaya?
Judge, you're ready for me to go to 1 now, or do I need to stay?
You can go to 1 now.
Okay.
Who are the prosecutors on Sam Amaya?
You're right, Judge.
Court is calling 2019 CR 0611, State of Texas versus Sam Adam Amaya. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Joe Ray Garcia.
for the defense?
Mark Rivera.
And are you Sam Amaya?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
None, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections.
Mr. Amaya, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Mr. Guerra, I'm showing you what's entitled acknowledgement of discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have. Your Honor. Yes, I did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Okay, that's the type of feedback you get, Brenna, when they say aliens are zooming in to what people are doing. Is this the movie Signs? Is that what's about to happen? I don't know. All right, Mr. Amaya, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We're proceeding on count 2 on the indictment and the lesser included Class A misdemeanor, assault bodily injury family.
Any objections?
No objections.
Mr. Amaya, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault bodily injury family as a Class A misdemeanor? The range of punishment for that offense is up to a $4,000 fine and up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I believe so.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Mine, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of a Class A misdemeanor assault bodily injury family. Punishment is to be assessed at 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. There's a $0 fine. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, credit for any time served, no contact with Chelsea Duncan. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense of assault bodily injury family as a Class A misdemeanor, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State offers takes Exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
Any objections?
No objections.
Just one moment, everyone. Could I see the state and the defense in a breakout room number 1, please? All right. Mr. Mai, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, do you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you and your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. What, has he been in jail for a year?
Your Honor, he was in custody from May 5th, 2019 to December 9th, 2019. That comes out to 218 days.
Okay, that's not 365. So he'll need to appear in court tomorrow, and I'll sentence him to, I can enter his sentence tomorrow.
Okay, Your Honor, and then I guess this was something that was discussed with my client. I mean, he was something that he wanted to stress and emphasize and clarify with me. I'd indicated to him that with the 218 days and the jail's policy of a good time credits, that he would have sufficient time for judgment satisfied. Are you saying that he would need to actually go to jail and then have to calculate that?
Yes, because that's the jail that the jail gives him 2 for 1. The court doesn't.
Okay. Okay. So in that case, can I go into a breakout room, make sure he understands what's going on? Because I don't want there to be any confusion.
Sure. I'll send you to breakout room number 2. And everyone, if you'll give me a moment, please. Martin Guerra,
Yes, Your Honor.
and are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor. I do have a request, Your Honor.
Yes.
Can he surrender himself on Monday? I have a couple of concerns. Number one, the weekends are just a busier time of the week for the jail. And number two, I mean, if something were to go wrong, I wouldn't be able to communicate with the court until Monday. So if he could surrender himself Monday morning.
Well, he can just come to the court on tomorrow. We're here. He won't be going to the Bexar County Jail. He'll be coming to the court.
Right, but I'm just saying that once he'll be taken over are you saying he'll be taken from the courtroom over to Bexar County Jail, booked in? And that's where my concern is that it's a lot busier on the weekends. And if there is any type of problem, I wouldn't be able to, communicate with the court until the following Monday.
No, if there's a problem, you can communicate with me on the weekends. Everyone has Miss Ferguson's cell phone number. Miss Ferguson has my cell phone number. And Mr. Guerra, I know you have my cell phone number. So you can communicate with me if there's an issue over the weekend. Mr. Amaya, if there's a issue over the weekend, your attorney can communicate with me.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, just a second. Mr. Garcia was kicked off, not by me. So what we'll do is, as I said, the court is finding that there's sufficient evidence to find him guilty. So we're going to come back on tomorrow. Mr. Amaya, you need to be in court on tomorrow at 9 a.m. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
The courtroom is located at 300 De La Rosa. It's on the 4th floor. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And it's at, it'll be at 9 a.m. It's the 187 District Court.
Yes.
Okay, we will see you then.
Your Honor, are both he and I excused?
Yes, you're excused. And Mr. Guerra, you can appear by Zoom if you wish to.
And
Okay, I'll actually be here. I have to be in another courtroom anyway.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Tomorrow
Thank you,
is like,
Tomorrow at 9 a.m., Mr. Amaya.
and then they just take me.
You're to show up to court at 9 a.m.
That's where they're gonna take me, right?
Mr. Amaya, that's where they will take you into custody in the courtroom tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sam, go ahead and when you sign off, I'll give you a call, okay?
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome, Mr. Guerra.
Judge, I sent you a chat, Judge.
Okay.
What's that?
No, it's not rigged up because they have no leverage because of the desk is too far away.
All right, Mr. Sawyer.
I was stuck in a different court. I apologize.
Oh, no problem. You know, my motto is should be patient and things happen. So what is happening with Mr. Munoz?
I have conferred with the state. They have
Yes.
made me an offer. I am awaiting the rest of discovery, Judge. He is looking at a total of 5 felonies.
Okay.
And looks like 1 or 2 are still waiting to be indicted.
All right. And so where are you on discovery?
Have probably about, this is 1 3. We probably have half the discovery right now, Judge. On the earlier cases.
Half the discovery from the state?
Yes, the earlier cases. Downloading. We're getting it now, but we have to discover the early case 41, 42, and 43.
Okay.
The
All
newer
right.
cases we have done so far.
All right, Norma, on Munoz, can you give me a 30-day reset so we can see where we are in discovery at that time? All right, so we're going to come back on January 13th. Mr. Munoz, can you unmute?
Am I on mute?
No, you're not. I'm asking your client to unmute. All right, Mr. Munoz, this is what we're going to do. You're going to come back on January 13th, and that's just for me to make sure that your attorney has all of the discovery, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
My understanding is that the defense has given you an offer. I'm not forcing anyone to take an offer, but be sure to be thinking about that as well, all right?
Ma'am. May I talk to my attorney for a moment?
Yes.
Sure, absolutely.
I'm going to send you to a breakout room. And Mr. Sawyer, when you finish in the breakout room, have your client come back to the main room and we'll excuse him from here.
Thank you very much, Judge.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your day.
I will.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, Norma, on Alexander Williams. Let's recall that.
Yes, ma'am.
And we can recall it for tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
Mr. Willis is asking to see if he could appear through Zoom.
I'm sorry, who is this?
Alexander Williams.
No, Mr. Alexander, you'll need to appear in person. I'm sorry about that. Mr. Alexander, can you approach? Yes, Mr. Munoz?
The arrows are at just face difference.
All right, Norma Munoz can go back. All right, Mr. Alexander.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm sorry about that. I know you've been waiting for your attorney. Your attorney is in Kendall County. So we'll take you up first thing tomorrow. So make sure, call your attorney. And you're here, if you're here at 9 a.m. and your attorney is here at 9 a.m., we'll probably take you up at 9:15 once I assign attorneys. Okay?
Okay. Can I say one thing, ma'am?
Of course.
It's about my employment. So I will be upfront and upfront with the matter. I didn't get in here at 9 this morning. I get off at 7. I work overnight shifts, and I'm really not trying to make it no hex or issue on my end because I'm still want to be up here at the end of the day. But I did want to inform you about that because it's possibly going to be the same thing. Like I work Monday through Friday.
All right, what time do you, what's your work schedule?
10 to 7, ma'am.
10 p.m. to 7 a.m.?
Yes.
That is, wow, that's not giving you but 2 hours of sleep.
I really haven't been asleep yet, you know.
Okay, well, thank you for not sleeping in the courtroom. I tell you what we can do. Norma, can you check with Mr. Cabanos? But here's the thing, you're gonna be without sleep because I can set you for the afternoon.
You know what? I'll just go ahead and roll with the punches, man. I just really want to get an understanding about me not probably, there's a great chance I won't be here at 9 because I also take the bus too.
All right, so this is what we'll do. We'll set you at 10 a.m., okay?
Okay, that's fine.
All right, so 10 a.m. doesn't mean come strolling in at 12.
Yes, ma'am.
Norma, can we reset then Mr. Alexander? He can be here. I'm sorry, Mr. Williams. He can be here tomorrow at 10.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and Mr. Williams, I keep calling you Mr. Alexander because you have 3 first names as your name. Alexander Leonard Williams. So that always throws me off. But thank you so much for your patience. So we'll put you at 10 a.m.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Hopefully you can get some rest before, well, probably maybe 2 hours.
Right, listen, something will work out.
All right, thank you so much. And thank you for your patience.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
You're welcome. Bulfreno, are we ready?
We're ready, Your Honor. I submitted the paperwork.
Has he been sworn in?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, okay, we can't go until he's sworn in. All right. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. To the clerks, could you go to number 1 and swear him in, please?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Ferguson, could I see you in the office for a moment, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Judge, I'll be right back.
All right, thank you. Mr. Deleon? Hello.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How about yourself?
All right. Oh, I'm doing great. Do you know why you're here?
Yes, ma'am. I'm supposed to be here for a compliance meeting, I believe.
Yes. So what I'm being
That's what I
told
was
is that you don't want to participate in felony drug court.
No, ma'am, that's not the case. They gave me an option. Do I want to be in, be out? Because I've been in felony drug court, I want to say about 3 weeks. And the ones that are like my case manager, he actually, I don't know. The first one is I had an essay on following directions. The next one is communication.
No.
I feel like
Let's back. No, here's my question.
Yes, ma'am.
Because what I did was I ordered you to felony drug court.
Yes, ma'am. I understand that.
So let me explain some things to you.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a defense attorney. I've been a prosecutor. And this is what people always say. Now, mind you, I haven't done any scientific studies. My statistics professor will be very upset with me for saying this because I haven't done a study or viewed studies. But you're on probation for driving while intoxicated third or more. And you know what people say about people who are on probation for driving while intoxicated? That you just got caught that time. That's not the first time that you've driven while intoxicated. And for you, because you're on probation for driving intoxicated, where did Mr. Okay, for you, because you're on driving while intoxicated, third or more, that means that you've been driving intoxicated, not just once, not just twice, 3 times. And so you know what that tells me? That tells me you have an alcohol problem. And that means that you don't know or you can't stop drinking when you start. Because if you could stop drinking when you started, you wouldn't have a DWI third. Or either you're not a nice person. And the reason why I say that, because you can stop, you just choose not to, and you're going to go out and drink and drive and probably end up killing somebody. And what I've known is that people who drive when they're intoxicated, what ends up happening is they're fine and dandy. Again, my statistics professor will be upset with me about this, but usually, you know what ends up happening? The person who's intoxicated, they walk away without a scrape. They come to court, they boohoo and cry, I'm sorry for injuring somebody. They maybe kill the soccer mom who's driving her children, maybe injure a child who's now paralyzed, can never walk, never thought that they would be hit by a drunk driver. So here's the thing. You're either going to felony drug court or you're going into inpatient treatment. And that inpatient treatment may be Santa. I don't know why this is so funny to you.
No, ma'am. It's just I didn't choose to get out of this. The judge was like, because he wouldn't let me explain myself.
Mr. Deleon does not want to participate in felony drug treatment court program. And I know a lot about this program because I was one of the originating attorneys in felony drug court. So what ends up happening sometimes is people go to a treatment program and they want to write their own plan. And guess what? If you could write your own plan and be successful at it, you wouldn't have a DWI third. That's why you can't write your own program. You can't tell other people how it should be done, because if you knew how it should be done, hopefully you would have done it and you wouldn't have a DWI third. So this is what's going to happen in your world. And your world is the 187 district court right now because you have a contract with us. In your world, I'm sending you back to felony drug court. If felony drug court waitlists you or says that they don't have a placement for you, or if they said they're not taking you back, you know what's going to end up happening? What's going to end up happening is you're going into inpatient drug treatment. Do you understand? You're on mute.
I'm sorry, I missed a little.
Hello?
Yes, I was saying that the screens just popped off and on.
Okay, so this is what I want to tell you. You're going back to felony drug court. If felony drug court does not accept you, if felony drug court says we don't have any room for him, He is now waitlisted. You're going into inpatient treatment. So that's what's going to happen. And so you may end up spending your Christmas in a lockdown facility because you chose not to go or to participate in felony drug court. So Rebecca, on Mr. Deleon, he's being transferred back to felony drug court. If felony drug court will not accept him back, or if he's waitlisted, then he is either going to SATF or SafeP. And if he does not sign conditions to go to either one of those programs, then file a motion to revoke. All right, I'll send you to a breakout room. Probation will go over your conditions with you. I'll
Okay,
send
thank
in a
you.
break. You're welcome. I'll send in a breakout room number 2.
Judge, you brought us back over here?
No, his Zoom wasn't working, so he's going to Zoom out and Zoom back in.
Okay.
Rebecca, be sure to, when Mr. Deleon comes back, to let him know what his new conditions are.
Yes, ma'am. I'm typing them up right now.
All right, thank you. Is he only pleading on one case? All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 11690, State of Texas versus Bofrano Avila. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Sorry, Judge, it's going to be Meredith. Give me 1 minute.
Thank you.
Anthony Cantrell for the defendant.
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
All right, and are you Mr. Avila?
I am, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Avila, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
I did, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Counsel, I'm showing you what's entitled acknowledgement discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case? And did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Avila, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Avila, I'm showing you what's entitled court's admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're charged with is aggravated kidnapping? That's a first-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving them those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Avila, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
I am not.
Counsel, has your counsel, did you advise the defendant of the consequences of entering a plea of no contest or guilty in this offense and federal immigration law?
I have, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, or the denial of naturalization?
I informed him that most likely all that would happen, Your Honor.
Do you believe he understands the consequences of entering a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Avila, did your attorney advise you of the consequences of pleading guilty or no contest in the application of federal immigration law in this case?
He did, Your Honor.
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, and the denial of naturalization?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand the advice that was given to you in regards to this plea as it relates to your immigration status?
Yes.
And do you wish to continue with this plea, knowing the consequences of entering a plea as it relates to your immigration status?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
I did, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. There are no applications. The state will take in consideration cause number 2019 CR 11671. There's to be no contact with Sierra, CIERRA Smith, and William Valle, VALLE. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Your Honor, we'd ask the court to make an adjustment with respect to Sierra and change that part of it to no harmful or injurious contact. That is his wife, and they have 3 children together. Most likely he'll be deported, but he'd like to be able to make phone calls to his wife down the road and things like that to discuss his children.
Rebecca, you can go to breakout room number 2. State.
Your Honor, I understand we are taking that case into consideration. I understand the relationship, but given the types of offenses we're dealing with, I'm not comfortable with that at this point.
All right. Are you okay with placing it outside the agreement and the court can make the decision on whether or not there will be contact with Sierra Smith? State.
I'm sorry, I didn't know if you were asking me.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I am comfortable with that.
All right. Defense, any objections to that being outside the agreement?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So according to the plea bargain agreement, then there's to be no contact with William Valle. Did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement, Mr. Avila?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the agreement?
Yes, Judge, and I believe the deadly weapon finding as well.
Thank you. And also an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions? Counsel, have there been any such motions, Mr. Cantrell? You're on
No,
mute.
Your Honor. No, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Now I'm showing you outside the agreement. The state is requesting that there be no contact with Sierra Smith. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offense of aggravated kidnapping, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea?
State offers States Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Avila, I'm showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
I did, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to a jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing States Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state, in the police reports, the name Sierra is spelled with an S instead of a C. Is the appropriate spelling with an S or a C?
I believe I got that from the court filing, so I could double check real quick. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
If not, I can put both spellings in the court's orders.
Mr. Avila, is your wife's name start with the S or a C?
With the C.
Okay, All right. Defense, you wanted to speak to the no contact order?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Avila, I explained that no contact order, and you asked me to ask the judge to have her reconsider that. Can you tell the judge why you want to do that?
I have 3 small children this year, and I'd like to be a part of my children's life, Your Honor. Well, as much as I can, given the situation.
Why can't that be accomplished through a third party?
Your Honor, he'll be most likely living in Mexico, and that would be a lot more difficult, making arrangements and all of that. You know, it's hard enough to go through a third party when you're in the US, but and different cities, but it's even more difficult when you're having to make long distance calls in another country.
All right, so this is what I have in Mr. Avila, this is what I have in a statement because I read everything. I know it seems like I'm just not reading, but when my head is down, I'm reading everything that's in the packet. And what I read here is, he then FaceTimed his baby mama and told her, "Look what you made me do." He put the camera towards me and pointed the gun to my head. And then it says he was still talking to his baby mama and he told her, "I'm going to go get you," the B word. And then he asked her, "You have a hickey." I heard her say it's from where he strangled her. And then he said, "I'll do it again." So this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 10 years in prison, give you a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. Taking consideration 2019 CR 11671, there's to be no contact with Sierra Smith or William Vale. Give you credit for any time served. There is an affirmative finding of deadly weapon, and there's to be no unsupervised contact with minor children. All right, I'm gonna show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And if I did not say it on the record, there was an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. All right, is there anything else from either side? State?
Your Honor.
Defense? All right, Mr. Avila?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you are not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And if you have a question over what the definition of a weapon is, you'll need to talk to an attorney about that. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and of course, you're not to enter the country unless you enter the country legally. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Avila. We can go out the record. Mr. Avila, here's the thing. If we love our children, then we don't treat, be it the mother of the children, the father of the children, with such disrespect. We're not abusive to our spouses, because then guess what? Children grow up thinking that that's appropriate behavior. They end up growing up thinking that's the way you show love to somebody. If it's the daughter will end up thinking, well, this is how a man shows love to a woman, because this is what my father did to my mother. The son would think this is how I show love to my wife because my father did it. Or either they may think might makes right, and this is how you win an argument. So you're going to have to change your ways. You can't be putting your hands on anyone in anger. And with an orchid, you need to keep an orchid alive for at least 6 years before you even think of entering into another relationship. You understand?
I do now, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Avila. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, miss. Thank you.
You're welcome. Norma, L3 can go back. All right, everyone, we're going to stop live stream. We're done for today. I know it seems like we've been here for Monday through Thursday, and we didn't leave since Monday, Brenda, but it's just been day to day. So I'm going to stop